Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's class trial time here on Danganronpa.
Explanation of the class trial.
We don't have to do any voice acting. We can just talk about it.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Who done it? Then only they will receive punishment. Then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened.
Yeah,
and
it's just how the rules work.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course.
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
What a fucking ridiculous, like teacher thing to do.
Right.
Don't
Like
be
I
a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier.
So, go.
Penetrates?
Oh,
Fucking
God.
get out of here.
You fool me
Okay,
one.
but
Fuck you.
what about that other empty seat?
Fucking fanfic
There
author.
were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
That's a good question, Celeste. Maybe it'll get answered sometime in this
Oh,
game.
no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin, the debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found out, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me. Everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is here. Would you like to hear more? Let's hear more, because I need to know the controls.
Yep.
During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions. What this means that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to aim and fire with the triangle button. Got it. Pay close attention. You want to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail. If you press the options button during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun.
Alright.
So I'm gonna let you decide what you think the contradiction is. So our truth bullet for this is evidence of a struggle.
Okay.
We have to figure out where that goes.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
You don't fucking say, buddy.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
That is true. That is a true fact.
In the bathroom,
So
yeah.
it seems
But
Miss
people
Riker
thought it was her
The
room.
killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom.
Well, it looks like there's only one thing to shoot here, so I'll just do it.
No, it's wrong.
Oh.
So the orange text you can shoot.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
Chihiro was like, there wasn't a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Well, between Sayaka and someone else, dumbass.
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide.
Yep.
The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
I agree.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
Not really. In a real trial, you don't just like round robin popcorn. Everyone says
Yeah.
whatever the fuck they want. It's not really how that works, buddy. We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. Okay, we've got a kitchen knife set. So, here we go. I like, this is starting to sound like a real, I mean like, have
So
you ever
what was
seen a
used
real
to-
trial?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach.
Some kind of sharp
That is the
object.
murder weapon.
No shit, buddy.
The killer used some random knife they had on him.
There we go. Yep.
How could anyone
Well,
do
you told me too
something
late,
like
Dylan.
That? That son of a bitch.
So what was used?
There was some kind of without a doubt.
So the killer
See,
used
I know
some
that that's what
random
needs to
knife-
be shot. You need to tell me when you think it needs to be shot. Because otherwise I'm not going to do it. Because I already know.
Yeah.
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
Well, okay. I mean, you look at the knife and you can tell it's a fucking kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Knives look different. There are different types of knives. It clearly wasn't a machete or like a Bowie knife.
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
It wasn't a pocket
Which
knife,
means
for God's
that
sake.
knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach.
Yeah.
And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
I mean, real close. It just is a kitchen knife.
Okay,
It just
so the
looks
murder
like a
weapon was
kitchen knife.
kitchen knife. But where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
Son of a bitch.
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we've presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
Okay.
You really believe that?
Yeah, because I didn't fucking do it, bitch. She's right. There's got to be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. And I can't put two and two together and read something upside down either. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Let's see. You can concentrate by holding on R1. Will slow down time. On top of that, it'll steady your aim. Concentrating consumes focus. Yeah, we'll cover over time. Good luck. Okay. So you gotta tell me what you want me to shoot, Dylan. You got Aui's account.
Yep.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
All you have to do is look at it.
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right?
I didn't take shit.
There.
Nobody was in the dining hall.
Triangle, sorry.
No, it's wrong.
I hit X. Because that just seems to make more sense to
wait.
me.
Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. Do you want me to read all this? We already saw it.
We already saw it.
Cool, I'm skipping.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
Bam! I didn't do
You
it.
don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
But then...
Okay.
Wait.
Then what about what if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice.
Oh.
But only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So, there's that.
So,
Okay.
in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief. Enough already. No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case.
It's just something important to know for later.
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
You were in the dining hall, girl.
I can.
Who else was there?
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
What?
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
Ooh.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned rooms.
Slumber party! Let's go!
So, I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem. A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome.
Okay, bro.
Bruh.
Get over yourself, man.
I'm a girl.
Also, Sakura's a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
But if it
God.
wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Sakura is
One other
very
person
much
did
a
come to
girl.
the dining hall while we were there.
She's big and buff, but she's wearing a girl's school uniform.
Yeah.
And, like, someone who's that buff, you would think they would draw them with a beard if they were a guy.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here? Are you
Sayaka.
talking about...
She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was... Dylan?
Sayaka.
I got it! Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
And the person who took the knife was the victim herself.
So you're starting to put together what might have happened?
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all.
No.
Oh my
you're
god.
wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
My god.
Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna
Hold on.
die.
It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Basically, she has it all
Something
figured
was
out
missing
already, but
from
she's
the
just
scene of the
not
crime
telling
that
us.
by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Not at all. I meant to say absolutely. Shit. Something that should have been at the scene but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. If we can just figure out what that something is. Okay, I need to figure out the controls on the fly now, because I accidentally skipped the controls.
Yep.
Here, I'll just do this. Controls. X is shoot here. Or triangle?
Or triangle, yeah.
Okay, so what do you think it is? What letters should I shoot, Dylan? What was missing from the crime scene? That should have been there.
That should have been there. Hair.
Very good, Dylan. Very good. It is indeed hair.
Now I understand. That's right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there.
That makes no sense. She
That
was
makes
in the
sense,
fucking
but
bathroom.
No, If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself,
Like,
not just her
Yeah,
hair.
like, why conceal that? Why be like, Sayaka wasn't here?
Like, literally, she's quite literally
She's
in the bathroom.
dead in the bathroom. Like, she's right there, bro. No.
That ain't her.
Her hair is nowhere in this room.
Are you here?
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Yay!
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
Sure, pass everything off to me. The object the killer
knob.
broke. The doorknob. Good one, Dylan. Present.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
Can we talk about the most damning piece of evidence here?
What?
The fucking name that Sayaka wrote on the back wall.
See how the top part was unscrewed?
I mean, let's we can talk about all the stuff that proves it wasn't me all you want, but like she wrote Leon on the back wall.
Literally.
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Why? I wouldn't have had to break it
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it wasn't
You knew,
locked and
yeah.
I knew how to open it.
Exactly. A bewildering.
I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? Please tell me. Number of weak spots will start going up, but no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one liar contradiction. Not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and you will not only fail to refute what they said, but you'll lower your trust, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now, this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you lose. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine whether the weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun.
Alright.
So now there's going to be multiple things for us to be able to shoot. We got the
Bathroom.
bathroom door frame.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
That's correct.
Okay.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her.
Indeed.
And they got into the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door.
Not a weak part. Because they did have to bust down the door to get in there.
Shoot!
They just didn't have to break the doorknob.
Oh my
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was
First attacked and she then fled into the...
Then the killer ran and they got into the back. At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the
Good.
because
Okay.
Sayaka had locked it.
Nope. There it is.
She couldn't lock it.
No,
Because my room didn't have a lock.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes.
Free
now that
system.
you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup. True as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door...
It's actually pretty lucky for me, because
Yeah.
it's an alibi.
At all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
The killer was convinced the bathroom door was locked, so they didn't know that the door actually couldn't be locked. In other words, the most important detail about the scene of the crime was that they didn't know...
It took place in our room.
There you go.
The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Damn it.
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. The killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
Bam. Alibi.
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
Okay, man.
What happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
Yeah, that's smart.
You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions?
She wrote
It
Leon.
does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you
don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Okay,
so...
god damn it.
Well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
Well, then they would have seen Makoto and they would have tried to get into
I
Makoto's
don't think
room.
so. That seems way too convenient.
Then, maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative. If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Ms. Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place.
What the fuck are you talking
Oh,
about?
why exactly can't that be it?
My place? Bitch? Because she asked me to do something in particular because of how frightened she was. That's the answer right there. There's no way Sayaka let someone in because...
Would have been the Would it be the switching rooms?
Yeah, it's not clear, but yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
You know, Makoto, I hate to say this for you, but she could have been
Knowing
lying
what
to
she'd
you,
been
bro.
through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
I know you fell head over
Her
heels
being
for her,
scared
but
was a lie.
just saying.
Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
The reason why she lied is because she knew you wanted to get all up in there and smell her scent, bruh.
Oh my god.
She knew she could manipulate your ass. There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room,
I
okay?
found a notepad during my search. and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words.
Only if you're writing like super hard, though.
When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique. But even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't.
But of course you didn't. Because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
And I definitely couldn't forge that, seeing as how none of you have seen either of our handwriting before. That's definitely Sayaka.
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Supposedly you, Mr. 2D.
I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Yes, that's why we asked you the
Very well
question.
then. Pay
Right.
attention.
Okay, ready, bud?
Yup.
Our truth bullet is dorm nameplates.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
Yup.
But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
Indeed it does.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
I think I missed it. No.
It certainly would seem that way.
Yeah, I did.
Do you know what it is?
Sayaka and Makoto switched
Was it
rooms,
the
correct?
my room
But
part?
in the note,
No, I'm just gonna do it.
Specifically, I see. Then they would have gone exactly.
It's this one,
Oh.
because I might have been staying in my room, but the dorm nameplate.
Oh yeah. See, I was like, wait a minute.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name.
Ba-bam.
And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right.
Okay, then who did it?
You did, you son of a bitch.
Right?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. The only other person who knew we had switched
The
rooms.
killer. Wait,
Who switched the nameplates?
Sayaka?
Yes, Dylan. Sayaka switched the
Me and
nameplates.
Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to
Oh,
switch
yeah.
the nameplates was
You can also infer as much from her note.
Just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong
specifically
one.
tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out. We know who did it. Whoever she invited over is the culprit.
Well, that's true, but that's
still
not
don't
exactly
know
what
who
happened
it
there,
is, you
pal.
goddamn idiot.
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself.
Oh, yeah.
Seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
How do we know, Dylan? When you took a look at her wrist, there was no doubt.
Her wrist. Well, yeah, obviously her wrist is the one we need to look at. There's the gold.
I got it!
Well, when you take a look at her
All you
wrist,
have
and
to
then the
do is
evidence
take a good look at her
we
broken
throw out
wrist,
is her
and
wrist.
It should become
Like,
pretty clear.
okay.
Right there where her wrist is all swollen.
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica
Do you even remember
sword.
when we got the sword?
You barely
Way
have
at
to
the
touch
beginning.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's some on her wrist
Way at the
because...
beginning.
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword. Right there on her wrist.
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
Yes, it is. What happened in my room and what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates.
Oh, God.
Getting used to these? Starting with the next one, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets. Only one of the bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage from your influence gauge. Press L1 to rotate between them. Press and release L1 to cycle through each bullet. Or you can hold down L1 and use the left stick to pick.
Oh, God.
Okay, ready?
I guess I have to be.
So we've got replica sword sheath, the kitchen knife set, and the replica sword.
Okay.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
I definitely missed it, didn't I?
Yeah.
When the fighting broke out,
Oh.
the culprit grabbed
Oh.
the, and that's
Oh,
when
right.
the first blow was dealt. A
That
sword-based
right there.
sneak attack.
The sheath?
Yeah, I'm trying not to shoot it.
And that's what broke Miss
missed
Mizono's
it.
wrist.
Right.
She grabbed the...
I hit the X button. Actually, no. What happened was I hit the L button instead of the R button to slow down time.
When the fighting
At least you're able to go
that's
through
when
the statement
Sword-based sneak attack.
Because remember, the sword sheath was all scratched up.
Yep.
So someone attacked the sword sheath.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword. Because the sword sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
I mean, you could still use it as a blunt object and hit him over the head.
So
True.
how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with a kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation,
Okay, now I'm
there
starting
wouldn't
to
be
put
any
two
time
together.
to actually unsheath
She invited
the sword.
someone to her room to kill him.
So you're saying the sword was initially used
But
to
it
defend
backfired.
against an attack from the knife.
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere, Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist...
No, Dylan, you were right.
I was right? Okay.
Sorry, but I don't
Don't listen to that
Sayaka
dumbass.
used the sword to defend herself.
How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Part of her body that shows she never used a sword. If you wanted to use a sword, which part of your body would you have to use to touch it?
Her palms.
And they were completely clean.
Yep.
No blood or
Talking about her
anything.
palms, right?
And that gold stuff just flakes off.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
She's so...
Sorry,
Bruh.
but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
What the fuck?
No. Why would it be
that's
because
not
I
it
think
at
you're
all.
ugly, bitch? There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because there's a certain regulation that
Water
talks
was
about...
off.
Water was off, yeah.
I got it!
She was afraid of water.
According
Yup.
to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death
And
was
but
around
also,
1:30 a.m.
she ran into there to escape from someone trying to kill her. I don't think her first concern would be, oh, gross,
other
there's
words,
gold on my
nighttime.
hand.
Right.
And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower in years.
I don't know about you.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
Damn.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
It's an insult, dumbass.
Insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
The one who damaged the sheath would have had to be the
Sayaka.
one without the sword.
I got it!
Oh my...
Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Put two and two together.
The one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Yes.
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
Wow.
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Wow.
And she did it in Makoto's room to frame his ass.
Which brings up
That's
another
crazy.
point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility.
Yeah,
She's trying.
No?
He was trying to frame his ass for murder.
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
Yeah. That's what you get for
That would
falling
also
in
explain
love with
why
a
she
girl
would
after
switch
2
the name
fucking
plates.
days of knowing her.
Ta-da.
She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little
That's
risky?
crazy.
Of course it's risky. She was trying to murder
Even
someone.
if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Damn.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation.
That face that Makoto was making is the face you make when you realize you've been played.
Yeah,
Totally
played.
forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then, You're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on
That's
her.
crazy.
And she died at the hands of the one she planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey!
Because I'm a
You
simp.
guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery.
Yeah, of course.
If we
Leave it
can't
on
uncover
us.
who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
So we better figure it out
Right.
next time. I mean, Dylan and I have it figured out already, but we gotta tell these guys how it happened. So
Yeah.
we'll get there. Bye! Quite the twist.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, but I remember. Oh yeah, don't forget to save the thing.